Hey everyone, this is Rohit. By the end of the video, you will know free resources to use for your upcoming software engineering interviews, especially for product-based companies. The like target for this video is 50 likes, so please do hit the like button. And I noticed that 98% of my viewers are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, so please do subscribe to my YouTube channel so that it motivates me to make more such content for you. In a technical interview, here are the top things that an interviewer can ask. They can ask you a data structures and algorithm question. They can ask you questions related to your resume. You can be asked SQL queries. You can be asked high-level design. You can also be asked low-level design or fundamental CS questions. Now, for product-based companies, it is common to ask data structures and algorithm questions to all engineering levels for software engineers. But low-level design can be common for anyone who is having more than 1 year of experience, and high-level design can be from 2 years and above experience. So before I start talking about free resources, please use one resource per section, because you don't want to use multiple resources at the same time, as it will make you even more confused. So stick to one resource per topic and make sure that you 100% complete it and master it. When I say master it, if you see that question in an interview, you should be able to solve it in that interview time, which is around 20 to 30 minutes with the most optimal answer. Let me repeat, choose one resource per topic and then proceed fully. Once you have fully mastered that resource, you can move on to the other topics if you want more. You can move on to the other resources if you get more confidence and to cover more topics, but that's not required. So according to me, the longest preparation time is the data structures and algorithm questions. So I would advise you to start DSA prep 3 to 4 months prior to placement time if you have that. Now, the top free resources that I would recommend for a technical interview is DSA questions. One is Grind75. This is a website which tells you what questions you should do according to what your timeline is. If you have a very short timeline and you want to focus on core popular problems, then it'll give you the list of questions that you can do to cover most common topics in a short amount of time. It also shows you the progress you have done. There is a popular list questions called Blind75, covers almost all common topics that can be asked in an interview, but this list is pretty old. So now there's another list which contains around 180 questions. Do note that the DSA questions here will direct you to the LeetCode. There is a technique to solving DSA problems. I'll make another video about that in the future, and I will add the link in the description below. Resource number 2 is Cracking the Coding Interview PDF version. I know many people will say that, hey, you have to buy this book, but if you try to Google search for the PDF version of this book, you can easily use that. But I would suggest to buy this book as it helps to support the authors. So now this book is for beginners who don't have core foundations like arrays, trees, queues, etc. knowledge. So this book has chapter-wise theory concepts along with their own data structures and algorithm questions, along with the solutions at the back. There are chapters which are dedicated to solving object-oriented programming, multi-threading in Java, and behavioral sections. I have found that this book is useful when you are just starting out for an interview with other companies in the initial years of your career. Resource number 3. LeetCode. LeetCode is a website where it is focused on interview-based questions, and it has also a list of questions per topic. So anyone preparing for technical interviews generally uses LeetCode. There are contests happening every week, and you can even take part in them to improve your problem-solving speed. Now, resource number 4, HackerRank. This is also another free website which is quite similar to LeetCode. However, it is focused on language learning and getting used to the basics of programming in most courses in HackerRank. There is an interview prep course also, but I feel that there are better questions on LeetCode than HackerRank. However, this is just my personal opinion. Resource number 5 is Pramp. Pramp is a mock interview website where you are paired with a person and you can take a mock interview for each other. Now, I have personally used Pramp a lot during my interview prep, and it gave me a lot of confidence which helped me during the interview. So I would personally recommend this website as well. Now, behavioral questions. To tackle questions that are related related to your resume, you have to be really well versed with your projects that you have done. Please don't copy your friend's project just to make your resume look better. Make sure that you have a significant contribution in the project that you have listed in your resume. The interviewer will know that if you have really and truly contributed to the project or not. So the resource number 1 for this is cracking the coding interview again. Now, as per the common questions that the interview can ask you, there is a chapter in cracking the coding interview regarding behavioral questions that they can ask you, and you can use that as a resource. Resource number 2, interview handbook. This is a website where there is a section. So go to the behavioral questions to practice section, where there is a step-by-step on how to prepare common behavioral questions to practice, preparing a self-introduction, and preparing final questions to ask the interviewer. Now, this resource is really a goldmine and by far the best resource I have ever seen for behavioral questions. Now, this is not sponsored in any way whatsoever. The link is in the description below, so you can use this resource for your upcoming behavioral interview. Resource number 3, Pramp. Again, this website has behavioral interviews as well, so you can take mock behavioral interviews where you don't have to prepare any questions that you have to ask for your partner. The Pramp website will tell you what questions you can ask your partner. Now, this helps a lot when you have very little practice in answering these behavioral questions, as answering these questions can be a little tricky, and the managers ask these questions when you are comfortable and relaxed or in a pressure state, so that you have a very little chance of lying or giving any false statement. So this mock behavioral interview rounds can help you a lot. SQL queries. So resource number 1, HackerRank. Like I said before, this is where you can learn the basics of any language practically, and SQL is one of them. Well, basically this query language, there is things like easy, medium, and hard SQL query problems, where they give you a problem and you have to write a SQL query for it. You can write it in MySQL or Oracle DB or any other language syntax as well. You can get a badge after getting a certain amount of points, like bronze, silver, gold. However, I feel you should focus on the understanding of the queries, and for learning the theory concept about SQL, I feel that you can simply look on YouTube, and it should not take you more than 2-3 hours to learn the concepts, at least the foundations. High-level design. Now, for high-level design, there are ample of resources for these, and it's quite a subjective round, as different people will come up with a different solution. The goal is that you should have proper justification for the design that you have come up with and the trade-offs that you have mentioned, and that should be meeting the requirements that the interviewer has introduced. So resource number 1, high-level design primer on GitHub. Now, this is quite a famous repository, as you can see the number of stars that it has received on GitHub. So the content here is pretty good, and the best part is it's free. If you like flashcards, then the GitHub repo also contains the Anki flashcard as well. This helps you to memorize things much easier using spaced repetition. Resource number 2, system design interview for IT companies. This is similar to the above repository, just another piece of content. I just found this out and I see a couple of people like this as well, so I just thought of sharing it with you so that you have more options. Resource number 3, system design cheat sheet. So just in case you have a system design interview coming up and you don't have much time in your hands, you can use this cheat sheet to quickly come up to speed as to how you should approach a system design problem. Resource number 4, high-level design primer. You can watch these YouTube videos from various creators on YouTube like God of Zen, Pseudocode, or Tech Dummies Narendra, etc. Resource number 5 is Pramp. You can also do mock interviews for high-level design, where you have 30 minutes in an interview. And I know it's short, but it can help you to give answers quickly and train your mind to quickly solve the high-level design problems and ask core questions. Now, in reality, no one really expects you to solve the entire problem, like build a Facebook Messenger in 1.5 hours. So it's impossible to do so, and even the interviewers know this. So just try to go with the flow that the interviewer is trying to take you. So answer their questions when they ask and when they have any. Low-level design. When you have 1 year or more experience, you can expect to get a low-level design question. Or there are some companies like Cred or Flipkart which ask this for freshers as well. So make sure that you do know that the companies that you are targeting, if they have low-level design interviews or not. Moving on to the free resources. Number 1, low-level design primer. This is a GitHub repository which has all the basic information and a collection of interview questions along with some of the answers as well. It does not have all the solutions though, but most of them are solved. Resource number 2, on YouTube. There's a creator called Udit Agarwal who has a YouTube channel, and I have personally watched his videos. That's why I'm recommending his YouTube channel. He has some great videos regarding low-level design and how you can approach those problems and what is expected from you during the interview. You can also watch my experience with Flipkart for SD1, where I explained how my rounds went for the low-level design, which can help you also. Resource number 3. Refactoring Guru. Now this website is pretty good when you have some time in your hand, when you want to explore the design principles really well, especially the design patterns which are quite common in a low-level design interview. So make sure that you truly understand when you should use which pattern, and this interview can help you to do so. So you can answer questions like what are the pros and cons of using each pattern in different scenarios. Resource number 4 is the Clean Code video by Uncle Bob on YouTube. If you have not read the Clean Code book from Uncle Bob, I would highly recommend it. But since this video is about free resources, you can take a look at a Clean Code Uncle Bob video on YouTube. I'll share the link in the description below so that you can easily watch it. It is about how important the Clean Code practice is and how you can make sure that your code is production quality. Brute force coding is not complicated, but making sure that the code that you write is of production quality, now that's a different story. So moving on to the CS fundamental questions. I have personally not given many interviews where CS fundamental questions were asked, as these questions are popular to very new startup companies. Resource number 1, InterviewBit. This website contains the top interview questions that can be asked in an interview, and it also contains the solution for those questions as well. So make sure that you know that what are the topics that you need to study. For example, if you are interviewing for a Java full stack role, then make sure that you study the basics of Java, advanced Java, Spring, concurrency in Java, SQL queries, front-end framework of your choice, and basics of JavaScript. Let me know if you know any good resources that you feel is the best, and comment in the comment section below. I hope you like this video, so please do subscribe to my YouTube channel for more such content. Thanks for watching.